This is a review of Lake Eaton Public Campground up in the Adirondacks of New York, just north of Long Lake on Route 30, I believe. We went there after camping out one night in the Moose River Plains and then going into Limekiln, thinking we might stay at Limekiln Campground. But Limekiln was a big disappointment as far as I'm concerned. And this one is very much like Limekiln, so we thought we'd come over and see this. It's like Limekiln. It's a campground that kind of wraps around a big lake, has a boat launch site, has a single shower house, and a fairly lot of campsites. I think it has roughly 150 campsites, so not tons. Limekiln had 275, but it has everything's right up near the front of the campsite. This is the picnic area, day use parking, and just beyond this is the boat launch and trailer parking. And you know, you can get in here for day use with an Empire passport for free, or you can pay the $7 or whatever it is. Campsites in the park are similar to Limekiln. They're pretty small, and some of them are close together. The ones along the lake seem to be kind of crunched between the road and the lake, but with the lake moving and the road moving, some of them are bigger than others, some of them are pretty small. About 90, well, not 90%, but about 80% of the people in Lake Eaton were in tents. There were a couple of pop-ups and a couple of trailers, but most people were in tents. When we got to our campsite, it was still occupied by some New Jersey people who were 3 hours late in leaving. They were supposed to be gone by 11 o'clock, and they were just taking down their tent when we got there at 1. We hung out and hiked around a little bit, and they left finally at about 1:45. So much for getting an early start on hiking and exploring a little more, but they did leave and we did get into the campsite. We did set up the cameras so we could record a nearly perfect back end on this campsite. This campsite goes up quite a ways. It's got a little ramp into the campsite, and it occurred to me, if I hadn't had my new axle, I probably would not have been able to get into this campsite. The car did click into four-wheel drive in reverse as I was coming in, and you can see in the picture it almost scraped bottom going in. There are several campsites I've been to before I changed the axle where I couldn't get in them because I was digging a trench with the axle, with the rear stabilizers of the trailer.
We have a really nice site next to the bathrooms. We get to meet with everybody that goes to the bathrooms. There's a trailer water nozzle right here that sprays all the way across this path. The path does not get wet, and it's these bushes. It's kind of interesting. Take a quick tour of the bathroom. It's got instructions on how to work a bathroom. Just your simple bathroom. These bathrooms are quite cleaner than the other ones. One light bulb and no spiders. Well, maybe one or two, but much cleaner, especially considering that it looks like it's falling apart, but they must work at it.
We quickly set up camp and headed out because we wanted to explore up through Horseshoe Lake, where I normally camp for free along the lake. It was absolutely packed with people, except for the very best campsite, which is right along the lake, the campsite number 1. But we continued down the road, which goes on for quite a while. It turns into from a paved old highway road that went to a railroad station. This road curves around through the woods and goes to several lease campsites until it comes to the very end. and it has a couple of campsites at the end. And I've always wanted to check this out.
We are at what I call the end of the road campground. It's a little campground right over here, little campsite at the end of about 12 miles of dirt and miserable road. There's a trail sign up there that says this trail that we're on leads to a place that I like to go, but I haven't been to in quite a number of years. We're not really going to go today, but I thought the boys needed to get out of the car and do some hiking, do some walking around. Something moved in the grass there. But there's absolutely nobody out here. This area out here is actually labeled for biking, which there's not a lot of places that are labeled biking approved. So I'd like to come out here someday with a bike. I may be getting old, a little old for this though. But I mean, if you look at this trail, I mean, they're mowing it, they're maintaining it. I mean, it's a snowmobile trail, but in the winter, and it really seems to me that the snowmobiles are kind of taking over the trails. All the trails are snowmobile use. Climb over the barrier there. And I don't know why that is. Because, you know, snowmobiles do more damage to the peacefulness of the environment than anything else. A little pond here. And they've got a bridge. An old beaver dam. Actually, that's a new beaver dam right there. There's moose in this area. I've seen them in the past, and my friends at the Environmental Conservation Department are always telling me that there's quite a few up here. You don't see them in the daytime very much because they're smart enough to stay the hell out of the hot sun. A lot of coyotes and coyote scat with a lot of deer hair in that one. We're going to just walk up this trail a little bit. Little ways, maybe half a mile. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Go. See, we get out of the sun and into the woods, and there are no bugs. But there are potential for many other things, like bears and porcupines and skunks. We're gonna hike along for a minute. It's kind of dark in here. I don't know how the camera works, but we'll come back if there's something interesting, I guess. Bye. As we're wandering along this trail, I see these things, puffballs. These are delicious if you get them in the right stage. And these are apparently in the right stage. Wrong kind. They're black inside. You want to get the white ones. I'm eating the white ones. The white ones are good. But the insides have to be solid, like bread dough inside. You gotta be careful you break them open. Sometimes there's a mushroom inside, and that's a poisonous mushroom. So it's not really a puffball. It's what looks like a puffball. It's a mushroom cap that has not opened. This is the campsite I call the end of the road campsite. And it's really a nice, big, spacious campsite, but it is at the end of this road, which is, I don't know, 8 miles from the railroad tracks. This is the Bog River flow. This is Lowe's Lake way up here, and there are designated campsites all along the lake. We are down this little piece of the river, and down here, right there, where the dam is. And it's a little trot up here at the railroad. And this is the Horseshoe Railroad up here in Horseshoe Lake. But it's a great place to come canoeing. This brown part is all Sabatis Scout Reservation. It's owned by Boy Scouts. This is the Bog River Flow Dam. It goes up to, this is the lower dam, I guess, and goes up to an upper dam, which is called Hitchings Pond. I don't know, the years are getting low. Yeah. That says, I don't like this bridge walk. They're just getting a drink, right? Adirondack water can be pretty foamy. It doesn't have anything to do with pollution or anything. It just has to do with the lack of minerals in the water and the decomposed vegetation. Go play. We interrupted there. I don't know if that's an old sluiceway from a hydro. I don't think this dam is hydro anymore. There's no lines, power lines coming from it anywhere. But that looks like a scary place to take a swim. Up underneath there. Things in the Adirondacks. There's a lot of weird things in the Adirondacks. It's been here so long, so much change.